Easy people, welcome back to the new channel at We Are the South Stand, MCFC. We haven't decided on a name for this show yet. We was wondering that if you, the beautiful people in the chat, could come up with a name for the show. Sorry we are late. We've just been talking about what we have all had for tea. Some people are on salmon, some people are on chicken curry, and some people are on alphabet shapes and chips, but we're not going to mention who that is. Yeah,
Martin, guess who that was.
Martin needs to sort his tea time choices out and get a grip of his life. But hey, Paul, welcome to the show. Manchester City chat, great panel. First of all, let me introduce MCFC Tone. You know him on X, Twitter, Spaces, all that. Welcome, mate. It's great to have you on a panel with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Nobbins, he likes a bit of salmon. He's here ready to give you his wisdom and his knowledge. Nobbins, great to have you on, mate.
Thank you very much. And the name of the channel is quite apt because I am seated in the South Stand at the Etihad, so it's a quite good convenience name.
Perfect. Martin, Mancunian Way, you know him. He's one of them old main road grumpy clappers that nobody likes, but he's here. We love him, and he has alphabet shapes and chips for his tea. So we love you, Martin. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Hey, listen, some people like me. I've gone up in some people's estimation. Now I'm on alphabet spaghetti.
I told you, mate. Don't worry about it. You be you. Do what you want. Anyone else don't like you, well, come off.
Hey, you can't beat the chicken dippers, you know. Chicken dippers, but just dipping it in the old tomato sauce. It's not even tomato sauce, is it?
And Daps is back. Anyone that watched last night's Big Six show, seen Turkish come back from Turkey, he's now known as the Turkish Daps. And there's a big queue of Big Six supporters out there that want to see the picture of Daps with a top knot. So I need to get one of them.
Oh,
did you watch
for fuck's sake! I didn't see the bit about the top knot.
Oh yeah, well they didn't believe that you used to have a top knot, so a picture needs to come out at some point.
Yeah. Well, I'll make sure I'll keep that to myself because that really does show my hairline and how bad it is. But listen, Steve, the idea with this channel is to get this channel big enough that we have companies from Turkey sponsoring me to go and get my hairline done.
Well, I've been offered the deal. The transfer deal came in from Turkey, but I've embraced the baldness. I've told them to contact you.
To me. I'm over there, mate. I'm over there. Listen, I just need to get bigger because I'm all for that. But
listen, people, right? Let's get into it. This weekend, Chelsea. It was, as we all must agree, it was a welcome change from what we've been watching. It seemed like a controlled performance. Taylor 2 debuts. One didn't go too well, but he bounced back. The other one, Mamouche, shown a lot of promise. I'm going to go to Tone. Tone, what's your quick thoughts on the Chelsea game and going into the Brugge game tomorrow? Are you a bit more confident of where we have been for the last few weeks?
Yes, it's a shame none of the new lads can play tomorrow, or more Mamouche, really. It would be nice if he could play tomorrow. I thought we were excellent against Chelsea, bar the first 5 minutes, as we know, but the way they responded, because I think I was worried, and I'm sure you guys were worried when we went one down so early, and the way we've been playing and the heads dropping in previous games. It was like, oh shit, what's next? And they stepped up, and everybody stepped up. The whole 11 deserved praise for the way they stepped up. I thought they all played really well. Gvardiol, I thought, played like a captain. Yeah. He led. He was all over the bloody place. Left back, left wing, which, to be fair, he is normally anyway. But even more so in this one. He was terrific. I thought he was man of the match. Mamouche and his movement. I haven't seen movement like this from a player at City in a long time. That type of movement. He was begging for a ball over the top from Akanji 3 or 4 times. Play me out. You could see him screaming at him, over the top, over the top. We're not used to that at City. It's always slow. So it'd be interesting to see when Pep gets hold of him a bit more, if he tries to restrain him a bit. I hope not. But yeah, I thought we were really, really good. And the midfield three, which I'm not a massive fan of, and when people see the lineups, I know they see Kovacic, Bernardo, and Gundo in the middle, and it's oh dear. But I thought they all played well. I thought Gundo played well. You know, Gundo being slow is not a new thing. Gundo's never been quick. So I see that criticism quite a lot. But, you know, he's never run from box to box like Yaya Toure. He's always been slow and running back to chase people and so on. But, yeah, to answer your question, I thought we were really good. Really, really good. Best performance in a long time. Most consistent one over 85 minutes anyway. And how do you pronounce it? Is it Kusanov or Kusanov.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's go on, Nobbins. I reckon you're going to nail this one.
Yeah.
The Uzbek pronunciation is Kusanov.
Oh, I thought it's Kusanov.
So that is pronounced like that in other regions around Central Asia, but I've been told by many Uzbeks that it's a hard K, so it's Kusanov.
Hold on,
Kusanov.
many Uzbeks. How many Uzbeks do you know?
Well, in my Kusanov analysis video, there's about hundreds of them commenting. Okay. So many, as it turns out.
Yeah. But Kusanov, I thought he did really well after the first 5. It would have been easy for him to just collapse and Pep take him off after 20 minutes because his head went, but he didn't. And Bernardo was a big part of that, by the way, because the minute that stuff happened, Bernardo started to drop even deeper to that spot and sort of take control of the ball. And I thought Bernardo, again, like Gvardiol, led the team, captain performance, stepped up, helped the lad out. And I thought he did well, played some nice passes out to Nunes. And yes, much more confident ahead of tomorrow. I think we'll win. And yeah, that's it, Steve.
Yeah, tactically, Nobbins, Tone just mentioned it there. We've seen Bernardo Silva drop a little bit deep and help out in the back four when it looked like Kusanov needed a little bit of a breather. We also saw Mamouche and Foden tucked inside a little bit into the midfield, which allowed Gvardiol and Nunes to get that free run over the top. I mean, tactically, what do you think Pep did different in that game? And do you think that we're going to see this a lot more, or would you prefer to see Mamouche being the one out furthest wide?
Yeah, so it was really interesting. We've only played like that outside of the Chelsea game once this season. That was against Spurs. Outside of that, we did play like that, especially towards the back end of last season. That's ultimately what helped us win the title. Then it was, Gvardiol and Walker as our widest players, and it was Foden and Kevin tucking inside. It's very reliant on the fullbacks being able to be competent wide players. Walker was obviously not that last season. No disrespect to him, but we all know that he wasn't able to do that anymore. It's lovely to see Nunes is able to do that. So he seems to have got maybe a new lease of life under City. This system's really beneficial to him. It gets Gvardiol into wonderful areas. I personally think it's a little bit wasted at just purely centre back. It's so good to see him doing a fantastic impression of a wide player out there. And of course, the added benefit is you can easily accommodate Foden in the middle. And in the case of against Chelsea, Marmouche in the middle. One assumes against Bruges, maybe Kevin and Foden in the middle. What it also does, though, is it just gives us a few more. It gives us one extra body in the initial phases of build-up as well. So Pep likes to go with a 3-1, but if it's a 2-3, 5's obviously a bigger number than 4. So it means we have more bodies in terms of the build-up, which we need, considering that we're not very good at evading opposition pressure, especially when there's a physical element to that. So it wouldn't surprise me if we kept doing it, especially because if it gives an extra layer of security to our slower midfielders, Bernardo, Gundogan, Kovacic. Will it work out long term? Can you also integrate De Bruyne into that along with Marmouche and Foden? I think that's another question. But as an option to have, it's a wonderful one to have, and it's specific use case. I'd be surprised if we saw it against Bruges, because Bruges will set up very differently. But it's good to know that is another shape that we can go to. And it's good to see that, Pep hasn't totally abandoned it. I thought it was a good idea last season. We played that shape every single game in that last 10 games. We won every single game, I believe. So it can clearly work. And it's good to see us get a result out of it this time.
So can I just quickly there? So yesterday we spoke a bit about him. Nobbins, I think you're probably going to be a good one to speak on this. Claudio Echeverri.
Yes.
I probably butchered that. But do you think we're going to see much of him this season? Because I know he's having a great tournament for Argentina, but he is still young, and we've got to remember, I believe that is in the under 21s, isn't it? I think.
Yes.
Do you think he's going to get much game time when he arrives, or any?
He'll get some game time, yes. I think that I haven't properly scouted him yet. The biggest question mark for me is going to be one of, is he physically going to be able to deal with the Premier League? I think that's obvious. But to be fair, from what I have seen, he's a lot more capable than what I first assumed. So that's obviously a plus. I think that this season, especially in the league, is a perfect time to try to integrate him to an extent, because I think we can all accept that we aren't going to win the Premier League this season. That's not the same as writing off the league. We still need to get Champions League football, but it's almost like, me and LB have discussed it before. It's almost like using the remainder of the league season, almost like a pre-season in a way. We can integrate the new signings, Kasanov, Marmoush, Echeverry as well. In terms of where he would play for City, you'd probably look at him playing instead of one of, if we take the Chelsea game as an example, you'd assume one of, Foden or Marmoush when we're on ball, he'd pick up one of those areas. As I said, I don't know enough about his play style, but as I understand it, he's similar-ish to a Kevin De Bruyne style, I believe. Okay. Again, but don't take that with a pinch of salt, because I'm not properly scouted him. But I'd expect him to get some minutes, a decent amount. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Do you know?
Yeah, I reckon. Sorry, mate. I reckon that if we have a good run towards the end of the season and we're leading in games, I think it's all about getting him up to speed, ready for next season. He's obviously very talented. Looking at him in this under-20s, he's scoring goals, he's assisting. He looks very, very lively and like you say, excitable. And City definitely do the homework when it comes to South American players, whether they're ready or not to come in the first team. You know what I mean? Savinho wasn't quite ready and he got sent out on loan. Yeah. Came back. Jesus, we decided was ready. He came in. Alvarez came in the January. So I feel like Pep's obviously got plans for him. But moving on to Martin, tomorrow we've left ourselves in a bit of a dilemma. We're not used to this, having to go into the final game. It's not the groups anymore, but you know what I'm talking about, having to win. I think the Etihad's got a job to do tomorrow. I feel like we spoke about it on other streams. The Hamburg game years ago, the Real Madrid game recently, when the crowd took it up a level. We've got a Club Brugge team. I know a lot of friends at Brugge. They're coming over tonight. They're quietly confident, thinking that they can get a result. They've not lost in 19, I don't think, and they reckon they can definitely get a draw there. I mean, tactically, we spoke about it. I don't think we're going to set up like we did against Chelsea, but do you think it's a case of we've got to show them no respect tomorrow and just go no mercy, full flow? Savinho, you know what I mean? Get him on the pitch. Kevin De Bruyne, get him on the pitch, and let's show them that we mean business.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're going to go there. You just said it. The Etihad's got to be even louder than it was on Saturday. I believe 1894 have got
Hamburg vibe.
Yeah, we've got to get to the Hamburg levels tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is a must win, 100%. I personally think we will do it.
Is it a must win?
Yes,
it is.
Win. Anything other than mathematically, anything other than a win's not good enough.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I heard someone say that a draw in the right results might go away, and I was thinking that I'm pretty certain it wasn't.
Sadly, not. We'd have to have drawn against PSG for that to be good enough.
Yeah. It helps a little bit because, I mean, it still must win, but it does help a little bit that PSG are playing Stuttgart, I believe, as well. So there's not as much better, right? There's not as much importance on Bruges, if you know what I mean. I know they're coming over with the 19 games unbeaten run, and they're on this really good form, but it helps them having that PSG. There's less pressure on them because of that PSG Stuttgart game. And it's all on us, but we've got to do it tomorrow night. And like you just said, KDB's got to be on it. Savinho's got to be on it. We've got to go out there and we've got to set the tempo from the get-go. And that includes the crowd, the players, Pep, everybody. We've got to be there from the off. Like you said, that's like the Hamburg game.
Yeah.
We've got to literally rock the place down. Hamburg, Real Madrid, a couple of years back, whichever atmosphere you want to go, we've got to do our job. And I'm sure we will, like I said. 1894 have got a display, apparently. I've heard for tomorrow night, which should be good. And it's not, I know Pep called it a cup final, but it kind of is a little bit, because it is a must-win game. And I know, because that's what someone said to me last night in the space. Like, do not call it a cup final. I was like, it's not, but Pep's called it a cup final. But it is, it's a must-win. It's win or bust tomorrow night.
Do you know what? This is the thing. The Etihad, when we play must-win games, the Etihad's loud.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you think about it, it's always loud when we must-win games. Yeah.
9 times out of 10, we'll get the job done.
Yeah.
Where does Jack Grealish fit in all this? Because he seems to be a little bit of a forgotten man. I mean, at the minute, When he's come on, I'll be honest with you, he's not looked the greatest, to be fair. He's just, people are just, the excitement with Mamouche, etc. Has he fell further down the pecking order, or is there a place in this side for Jack Grealish? I mean, whoever wants to go with that one can go with that one.
Not against Bruges. If we're specifically talking about that game, Grealish is best when he's got space to drive into. I think that's why, for example, in the treble-winning year, his best matches were at Old Trafford, at the Emirates, against Chelsea, against even Real Madrid and Bayern, when there was far more space to work with. When he faces an opposition defence who've got no interest in attacking and only defending, and he's got to be a 1v1 player, Grealish that's not his skill sets. That's not a bad thing, but that's just a thing, that's Doku's vibe, beating his man 1v1. Savio, likewise. I'd be very surprised if Grealish started against Bruges. Unless that we are needing to, defend the lead and we want to win fouls and we just want someone to calm the game down. I don't really want Grealish, and I'm a big fan of Grealish. I don't really want Grealish to even see a minute against Bruges, in all honesty.
Nobbins, do you think he has more chance to start against Arsenal then?
Compared to Bruges, yes. Yeah. But I also wouldn't play him against Arsenal.
I don't think he's got a chance of it either. If I'm going to be straight with you, sadly, and I love him, and people have called me his agent for 2 years because I've backed him that much.
Me and Steve aren't far off it. I think
you know what I mean?
I think we're all big fans of Grealish, right?
Yeah.
We all saw what he did in the treble season, but sometimes it just feels like maybe it's time to go. And I don't know, with the amount of wingers that are coming in.
And you've got Oscar Bob that we forgot as well.
Yeah. And we have to remember, Bob was our best player pre-season by a country mile as well.
If Pep changes his style of play, like he's talked about, and we do in games go a little bit more direct, which I'm fine with. I think this is where Grealish does lose out. This direct style is not going to suit Jack at all.
No.
It's not going to suit him.
And I think Marmouche did more. I hate saying stuff like this, but I think he did more in that game than Jack did throughout the whole of 24. And it sounds harsh, but I like Grealish.
Apart from when he was midfielder, to be fair.
Yeah, but then he did play well when he's in the centre. Was that Champions League game?
Forest.
He played well against Forest, but then he went backwards against Juve, sadly, in a similar position, which was a shame.
Yeah, I like Grealish. I do, but I just think the time has come in the summer for him to move on. I expect he'll probably end up in North London, Arsenal or Spurs, I think, possibly.
Newcastle, maybe?
Don't tell the Arsenal like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Or you tell the Arsenal of that, all of a sudden his GA won't matter and they'll all love it.
Yeah.
Right? Overnight.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah.
No, it's tough for Grealish, like you say. We all want him to do well. After last season, when he got dropped from the England squad and stuff, we thought he was going to go away, come back refreshed, different player, prove everybody wrong. It's not quite worked out for him, you know what I mean? Off the pitch, he's become a dad. That settles a few players down. It can also make a few players lose the plot. You know what it's like being a dad. Sleepless nights when you're not used to it, etc. But he's just like, when you're just willing someone to do well and he just doesn't quite seem to do it. I mean, he come on in Paris and he scored and you're thinking, brilliant, now kick on now, Jack, you know what I mean? And then he finds himself not used again the next game. So there's definitely problems there that Pep's seeing that, you don't pay £100 million for a player and we're all trying to squeeze him in the team somewhere. Whether he can use him centrally, we've seen it against Forest, but like Nobbin said, after that, he went backwards. So, I mean, going on the team tomorrow, is there any surprises? Do we expect any surprises? Or, if we start from the goalkeeper situation, obviously Ederson last few games has been number one. Do we expect him to change for Ortega in the Champions League, or is he going to stick with Ederson?
Ederson, I would imagine. I think he's too big of it. Not that Ortega's not good, but Ederson is brilliant. But Pep's number one keeper is Ederson. This is a huge game. You play your number one.
Does Nunes continue at right back for everyone, or is Rico going to come in?
Someone just said, Rico might start.
I think it'll be Nunes.
I think Nunes deserves to start.
Stones, Akanji centre back, Guardiola left back.
I think it will be the bodies, doesn't it? Yeah.
Do you know what? Stones looked good the other day as well, to be fair, when he came on. He looked
My only thing with Stones
he's looked recently when he's come in.
I'll just have my fingers crossed all game for Stones that he gets through it without it. It's one of them, you know, you see him look down or start holding his leg or the side of his thigh, and that's when I'll start worrying. Like, here we go again.
It is that bad with Stones now. Every time he plays,
and I hate saying that. I hate saying that about him because again,
when he's fit, when he's certainly in the top bracket of centre backs in world football.
Yeah,
John Stones is as good as anyone in the Premier League when he's fit, and it's just a shame that he can't seem to stay fit. But look, if he does the 90 tomorrow, he'll probably start at Arsenal as well. So
he was very calm. I thought we came on. He calmed the game down a lot because the last 20 minutes of the last few games has been wild. Whether we're winning 2-0 and it's 2-2, or whether we're holding on, you know what I mean, against Man United, things like that. We do need a calming head. The midfield free. Any surprises in there for anyone?
I don't see O'Reilly coming in. Somebody said earlier about O'Reilly. I don't see that. Not in this game.
So what are we expecting? Can Bernardo play? Someone mentioned something about Bernardo, but he's fine to play tomorrow, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's training,
So it's going to be Bernardo, Kovacic and Gundo, do we think?
Well, where's De Bruyne playing?
I don't think Gundogan starts.
Yeah, I think De Bruyne starts for me.
I think De Bruyne starts.
Yeah.
Good shout.
But then if De Bruyne... Sorry, if De Bruyne starts...
Firmino, Haaland, and then Foden, that gives... Foden might come in a bit and let Nunes do that role, what he did the other night.
What were you going to say, Tone?
I was just going to say De Bruyne, because it's two massive games in 5 days, and we know there's fitness, and the game at Arsenal is equal. Well, maybe not equally as big, but it's still a big game.
But Marmoush can start the Arsenal game. He can't start tomorrow.
True. Yeah. Well, you're right.
Can I ask you a question on that, Tom? Sorry, but you look at the games we've got coming up: Liverpool, Villa, and all them. This is where, sadly, with the amount of games we've got coming up, and they're all big ones. This is where I know it's not brilliant, but KDB's got, you would generally say starting most of them. I think what we've got now with the options off the bench is he could maybe do 60 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
And you can take him off. It's like Nobbin said earlier, this is the problem with having KDB, Mamouche, Foden, and everyone else we've now got. We've got options.
It's not a problem.
Around.
It's a problem.
No, it's a nice problem to have. You know what I mean?
It's not just nice. It's one we've needed. Steve and I were talking about this in Paris, that especially with the age of when you're looking at Cover, Gundo, De Bruyne, and there's one more that's
Bernardo.
And Bernardo, thank you. Yeah. Of those four, that ultimately one of the biggest issues we've had this season is that all of them have been having to play pretty much every game, right? And if we're being truthful and we go back to last season, when De Bruyne came back from injury, he looked great. By the end of the last season, he was being subbed off most games because he wasn't effective, because he's tired. And that's just because of his age. And I think you're spot on. Against Arsenal, De Bruyne would be a great option off the bench, right? But I think tomorrow night we need him because no Marmouche. So I think we have to go with it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he starts tomorrow.
Obviously, the transfer window is coming to an end. We signed the young fullback from New York City, McFarlane, I think it is. I don't know what. I think he's staying there till the end of the season. Cambiasso links have revved up again today, saying that I think it's Simon Mullock in the Mirrors turned around and said we could buy him in this January. The elephant in the room seems to be the midfield. You know, we've all been sat there this season watching the midfield get overrun. And it's great to sign Mamouche and it's great to sign Kuzanov, etc., young players and exciting players. But surely to God, we need some legs in that middle of the park, because it's not always going to be like Chelsea where, you know, we have a good day in midfield. We have seen this team become overrun by average sides. I just want to know where you guys think we are with that. Are we going to pull a signing out the hat from somewhere? But,
Steve.
He's a left back. He never played for us. That's true, mate. It's true. The last one was proper left back. Was what, Gail Clichy or someone like that. Yeah. But what do you reckon? Have we got something up our sleeve? Have we got a Douglas Luiz loan deal pending, or have we got someone out of the blue to come in, or what?
I think they want that. I think they want the Douglas Luiz, but it's the Juventus want the obligation where we just want the option. But I think that's what I think. If we just get the option, I think we'd do it. To me, I'm a little bit different. I'm happy City have learned from the mistakes a little bit. Like they're not sort of going in and just getting anybody. They're not hitting the panic button and just ramming in any bid for anyone. If they can't get him now, we'll wait till the summer. Because we've done this. We've done it with Calvin. People were happy with Nunes a little bit. Some said panic buying and everything else. And I know, Alan hates Nunes because he thought he was the worst panic buy in the world of football. You had people weren't overly keen on Kovacic. Some weren't. So, and then people will get Douglas Luiz in. Well, that's just another sticky tape over another plaster again. And we're going to end up with another guy on a long contract with big wages. So if you can't get your guy till the summer, Cambiasso for me is the bigger one.
Really?
So at least he can. Yeah. Cambiasso can do that a little bit.
Right. If you're talking about Cambiasso to come in and because we've got to remember Ake will be back at some point, right? But we also have Vardiel. If you're saying Cambiasso to do a role in the midfield in the DM role, but we have to get one in, Martin. We have to.
Yeah, that's what I mean, Cambiasso. But it also now we've got this plan B, the ball over the top. Maybe it is. Well, we can't get the guys we want. We know the midfield's a problem. So we'll kind of bypass the midfield a little bit and we'll overload up top and use pace and speed with it. I don't know. I know, listen, I would love the club to go out and stick 80, 90 million down on a player, but trouble is, if some teams will not sell, they will not sell.
Yeah, I hear it.
But you can't force them to sell the player.
I think there could be some. Sorry, Martin. I think there could be something in Edison from Atalanta. Cambiasso, I'm not sure is as close as being reported. I think some people said like he agreed or close or anything like that. That's not. I shared with Martin earlier something that's not what I got earlier today. That may change. Could change tomorrow. And I hope we get Cambiasso because I think his versatility will come in very, very good use. Play left, right, and centre. Centre mid, has played centre mid, and I agree with Martin. I think he could be the one, possibly if they bring him in, that they may look to that. Douglas Luiz, I'll be honest, I'm not as fussed from a business sense. Makes perfect sense. But to me, it just seems a bit short term, and City are not normally about short term decisions. Pep said in his conference a few times they buy players for years to come.
Could it be a short-term tone where they're thinking we can't get a Wirtz or a Musiala in January, so we can paper over the cracks with a Douglas Luiz on a loan. If he doesn't do well, we send him back. If he does brilliantly and everyone falls in love with it, great, we've got a good player. But I feel like this summer we're going to go big in that midfield department. I feel like with the signing of Haaland on a 10-year contract, I think that shows the world that we're building a team around the best striker in the world. And I feel like if you're going to compliment Haaland, I think he's been told, look, this is the summertime. We're going to give you the tools to carry on doing what you do. But I just feel at the minute, this big run coming up, only so long I can cope with Kovacic, Gundogan, Bernardo midfield. I feel like the better teams are going to overrun us a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry, can I just jump in real quick? There's 658 people watching this, which is absolutely phenomenal. We've only been running for under 2 weeks. So thank you to everyone, all the mods, everyone that's been on the shows and whatever else. Please, please, please keep checking that like button and giving the like button a smash. It's that's helping us. The more likes we get, the more we're being pushed out to everyone. Nobbins, just quickly, I think...
Hello.
I heard you and LB talking on this earlier, do you think it's a coincidence or do you think there's something in the fact that Cambiasso and Luiz both come in from, I believe they are both coming from the same club, right?
Juventus, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Do you think there's something in that? As far as the Luiz, not that we're going for Cambiasso just so we can get Luiz, but do you think there's bargaining going on there?
Well, I've not even thought about that. I've no idea, to be honest. I suppose it would make sense. Maybe that could be used as some sort of bargaining chip. But if the chip is that, okay, we'll sell you Cambiasso, but as like a term of that, you're going to have to take Douglas Luiz on like a more permanent situation, then I'd personally not do it because I think Douglas Luiz is a fine player, but no, I think he's a good player, but City are looking to rebuild their midfield and we don't want good players to rebuild our midfield. We want great players, elite players. Similar with, Edison at Atalanta. He's a good player, but the emphasis is on good. I'm after elite players. This is why I'm after someone like, everyone knows I like Baleba. Right, there you go. I've been on the hype train for a minute with him. That's why I want someone of his profile and quality rather than Douglas Luiz permanently. So if it's a short-term thing, then then I'd be sort of all right with it as long as it means that, in the summer we are going to go hard, then I'll accept that as a stopgap. But if it's like, Luiz, and we're not getting this other elite player, then that's a massive error. And I don't think City will make that error because it sounds like we're not entertaining an idea of purchasing him. Ideal situation, we're getting Cambiaso and I guess Luiz on loan. I'd rather have Luiz on loan and no one. If that makes sense.
I think the fact that the amount of games that Douglas Luiz has played over there as well, by the way.
He started 3 games in Serie A for a Juventus side which is struggling.
Yeah, that's the worry then, because the question is, why is it if we want top players, why City in for someone who can't make it in that?
But at the same time, we can't rule out that we have seen him in the Premier League, right? And he performed well in the Premier League.
For Villa.
This is not like
he was good.
If we look at Calvin Phillips, we saw Calvin Phillips in the Championship for Leeds, right? So there was no. Whereas with Douglas Luiz, I believe he has had some injuries this season. So I don't know. For me personally, I'm with Nobbins that I don't know if Douglas Luiz is the answer long term, but I think I would rather get him in than get no one in.
Yes, as long as the caveat isn't that we then have to get him on a permanent, because then we've got another Nunes on our hands, haven't we?
You can just do him on a loan. I think City would be all over it. I think it's that obligation part that's stopping us right now doing anything.
But I wonder if they're waiting until close to the end of the window when Juventus are probably trying to get him off the books.
They are spending money, Tom. They are spending money, Juve, and they've told everyone that they need money, and they are spending money. So I've been waiting, and we're going to end up with a very old-fashioned Manchester City deadline day bonanza.
Or could it be? That would be nice because we're used to lights off by usually 5 p.m. Because
yeah.
You just want to be down at the Etihad on the camera again, don't you?
What was Steve? What was it? What was it? What was the legendary moment that someone pulled out?
No, we're not doing it. We're not doing it.
Dildo stuck it someone's ear and that, didn't they, last time? You missed them days, man. Them days were funny back in the day. People were winging the car park and that, not knowing what the hell he was doing or who told him to go there and stuff. But now the Premier League has killed deadline day, man. Deadline day was like, just blag the day off work. I feel a bit ill. I've got a sore throat. Can I just go home? You know what I mean? Get in the house, bang it on, get ready for it. Then Robinho days, Man City have bid for Robinho, they bid for Berbatov, they bid for Frank Ribery.
From 7 a.m. till 1 a.m. And then even at 11 o'clock, you were like still sat there at 1 a.m. as the fax machine broken down. If anyone done anything. Like, honestly, the Robinho one, I turned to my lad and I said, because I got a message about we're going to the Etihad. Because literally I'm 5 minutes in the car and I was at the Etihad. And I'm like, and I'm on camera, and the guy just come out. He went, "You signed Robinho. You're going on camera in 3 minutes. Go crazy." The next minute, this big pink purple dildo appears out of nowhere. I'm like, what's going on?
That's it,
Steve. Thing is, Steve, you don't even need to ring up sick nowadays to skive a day off because everyone works at home. So you just put a tally on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So. Yeah, it was them days were good, man. But we'll see. I mean, we want to talk about Oscar Bob. Obviously, that mentioned before that Bob was probably the best player pre-season. So unlucky. That's like a new signing. And do you think we're top heavy now with wide players, or do you think Pep's got something up his sleeve for Oscar, like maybe playing behind Haaland every now and then, or coming in as a bit of an Alvarez sort of type player when Erling's not quite doing it?
Do you know what I compared it to last night, Steve?
Fabinho, Mamouche, Jack, McAtee, Foden, Bernardo.
Do you know what I compared it to yesterday? Right. Remember the season that Gabriel Jesus joined us in January?
Yeah.
And Sane hadn't really started. He hadn't played much up until then. And then all of a sudden, we completely changed how we played. We're a lot more kind of attacking, quick, and I don't know. There's a little feeling of that when you've got Marmoush, then you've got Bob coming back, and you're thinking, hold on, is Pep going to? And if you think about it, that was a season where I think that was that the 100-point season? I think it was
16-17 when Jesus came in.
16-17. Yeah, sorry, the back end of that season. Then we kicked on. And if you look at where we are now compared to where we are then, 16-17 wasn't a great season, but we ended the season really well, right? And it was almost like the dawn of the new players coming in. I don't know. It feels a little bit like that maybe Pep is getting his new toys, right? A new toolbox, and that maybe is going to change the way we play, and that we might carry it into next season. So I wouldn't be surprised if towards the back end of the season we do see a bit of Marmoush and Bob both playing off of Haaland.
But Bob is going to be. This was going to be his season where he was just going to explode and have a wonderful season. Sadly, that broken leg was a thing. I think his ceiling is as a central player. I think that is his destiny. I think right now, I think he might have to go through a similar pathway that Foden had, though. You know, we all knew that even when like Foden came into the City side properly, and like, you know, not properly, but, you know, for the first time, like 17, 18, it was like, right, okay, he's a central player, but he's got to wait. You know, he's got to do a job out wide, because at the time it was, you know, David Silva, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo who's competing with. I think Bob's coming into a similar-ish setup, so I expect him to start his City career out on the right side. I think that was going to be the plan for this season, wasn't it? For Bob and Savio to be our main right-sided options. I think Steve said, you know, does that mean that we're sort of are we locked in for wide players now? And probably because like that means that our right-sided options realistically are Savio and Bob. Doku can play there. Our left options are Doku, Savio can play there, Bob can play there, Foden can play there, but also Marmoush as well, like can play there as well. So we've got loads of all of a sudden, and Marmoush is also quite important because Bob, Savio, Doku, their average age is about 21, isn't it? Like they're very young and inexperienced. Marmoush is 25, much more experienced. So you've got a nice balance there of profiles as well. You know, you've got a low block beater in Doku, someone who's better in bigger spaces like Savio, a runner in Marmoush, and Bob, who can be a wonderful pocket player. So there's a nice mix of wide options there as well. So we might not need to sign a winger for a while potentially.
It looks, we do look in better shape than the midway through this season. We was looking at our team and we were thinking, wow, how have we got to this? Now I feel like we can take a little bit of a step back and look at the options we've got, and it does feel a little bit more exciting and look like we can change games and manage games. But it's going to be interesting to see it. The deadline day, it's going to be very interesting. And on the other side of the coin, Bayer Leverkusen trying to flex the muscles a little bit. They're going in for McAtee and Divine Mukasa from the youth team, who's having a great season. It looks like they're interested in them. I mean, what does annoy me a little bit with these clubs abroad is that they seem to come to our academy and feel like they can take these young players, because I think that these young players look at the first team and feel like the pathway is blocked, where it's not really blocked. If you look at the way Foden came in, I think you've got to be more patient than Manchester City, and then eventually you arrive a little bit later. But we know these young guns, they want it now. Jadon Sancho, he went away, he wanted it now. Romeo Lavia, etc. They all moved away, they wanted it now. I mean, Micah Hamilton, for example, has gone to Middlesbrough on a permanent deal, and then now he's found himself at Stockport County. So it shows you like that, you know, how quick things can go the other way. Does anyone see McAtee moving in this window, or are we keeping him?
I think we are. Oh God, that is tough. I think it depends who we bring in, because McAtee, we've just named there that midfield, Foden and Bob and all these people. I don't recall McAtee really getting a mention, although we were talking about the wing. But McAtee could play out on the right. I think he did when he came on against Leicester. He seemed to be more out on the right-hand side, and he's very, very, very good. He's probably on man of the match, and he'd only been on 20-odd minutes. But do I think he'll go? I think if we got, just for example, Cambiasso and Edison, and although they're not the same sort of position, I still think his head will be turning and going, well, hang on, I'm not getting a game now. I'm barely playing during an injury crisis a month ago. When the hell am I going to get time? And if I'm McAtee, I would say I want to move. And I think it's good for him too.
Somebody makes a great point there in the chat. Somebody said he's going to end up in the Wirtz deal. I mean, well, if they want him that much and we want Wirtz, if they're coming knocking on my door, I'm knocking back on their door and saying, listen, we can do something. But
Tiki needs to work his magic before he leaves, right?
We need the first option. You know, we let you clear run at McAtee, but we want this first option or something. But I feel sorry for McAtee because, you know, he does do okay when he's come in. But, you know, are we realistically, do I think he's good enough for Manchester City? Like Nobbins was talking about an elite midfield. Do I think he's good enough for that? No. Do I think he's good enough a bit part off the bench? Maybe, but he's young. He's going to want to go and play. Now, if someone offered 25 million for McAtee, for me, if we could get 25 million and a sell-on clause, I think I'd let him go.
Sorry, just a quick one. I don't know if any of you lot have seen this. Cass just walked past and said to me, you spoke on Cambiasso and said that is it Mullock that spoke on him, said he's quite a reliable outlet. And apparently that Cambiasso's out of the Juventus squad for tomorrow.
Ankle problem. He's injured. I know
Definitely.
it's an ankle problem.
Yeah, of course he is. Of course he is.
Is it? I don't know.
He's got a mysterious ankle injury. All of a sudden.
Ankle injury.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
There might be something in that, but I just thought I'd bring that up. Sorry, back.
Can I ask? And look, by the way, someone is going to come out and tell me I hate McAtee. Please, I love McAtee because I know when this anytime you say anything against, think you hate him, and I don't. I love him. I really want him to succeed. But you just mentioned then, Steve, about him coming off the bench for 20 minutes. I'm looking at the bench and our options, and I don't see him even getting on the bench when we've got a fully fit squad out.
No, I don't. Especially if Echeverri comes in, and
looking at the bench.
Might put shame.
You've got the bench for Saturday, for example. You got De Bruyne, Grealish, Lewis, McAtee, Sweeney, O'Reilly, Ortega, Stones, Beta Hayes. You've got Oscar Bob to come in, Diaz to come in, and Doku to come in, and I'm sure
and a DM to come in,
and a potential DM
please,
or Cambiasso.
Yeah,
Echeverri.
Surely it's going to be, and I sound awful. It's going to be O'Reilly, McAtee, and Lewis that are coming off that bench.
Yeah. O'Reilly, I feel a little bit sorry for. I've rated him a long time. He's just not quite had the chance. But I reckon if we could, I reckon he would benefit from a loan deal. I mean, City are reluctant to do that a lot of the time. But to a Premier League team, I feel like if Cole Palmer would have signed for Burnley on that loan, then we might have seen him tear it up, and I don't think we would have let him go. So I don't want to see that kind of mistake again. But like you just said, Martin, there, once everyone's fit, Martin, I can't see McAtee getting on the bench.
Yeah, and I love it. And I'm one of them. I'd probably keep him till the end of the season, and then because is it 2026 he's contracted to?
He's 18 months left on his deal. I think
you can't loan him because if you loan him, he's out of contract by the end. You know, if you loan him in the summer, not now. If you loaned him in the summer, so I think it has to be a sell with a buyback.
Yeah, the issue, I like McAtee a lot as a player. I think like Steve summed it up quite nicely there. If you like logistically look at where he could play, let's for argument's sake say that he can play on the right and he can play on the left and he can play in a more advanced midfield role. Let's just say that for argument's sake. Well, he's behind Savio and Bob on the right as a minimum. So absolute maximum, he's third choice at right wing. He's going to be behind, Marmoush and Doku on the left. So maximum, he's third choice there. And that's before I even entertain, talk about Savio. Maybe even Grealish as well in terms of this season. And then in terms of the centre, he's behind De Bruyne, he's behind Foden, he's going to be behind Bob. So an absolute maximum fourth choice option there. So you just look at the practicalities and logistics of it. He's too far down the pecking order in too many positions. So it's lovely that he can be versatile, but it's just hard to foresee a world where he can force his way into the starting 11. I think that's a shame because he's a great player, but the standards at City are such that you've got to be like a Foden level of talent to be able to like get yourself into this starting 11. It's incredibly tricky. And again, like McAtee a lot, if he's happy to be a squad player, wonderful. I'd keep him as a squad player. If he wants to be a starter, then for his own sake, I think he just have to leave. And I don't want to say that, but if we're being practical, I think that's...
I think he needs the move, to be honest, and I hate to say it. But I think the player himself, I'd be surprised if he's not saying to Pep, I'm not playing, mate. can I move? Because he's just hanging around at the moment. And the more players we get in, he's just going to get less and less time. He didn't even come on at Chelsea or at Chelsea at the weekend, did he? Neither did Grealish and so on. So
no.
Pep said again the other day, "Oh, I hope he stays. He's going to be future and all this." And it's like, I just if I was McAtee,
that's the thing, that McAtee is one of the few players that, you know, when we sign young players, you often see Tiki in a picture with them, right? McAtee is one of the few players that when he signed for City, Pep was there. That I know Pep had to have conversations with McAtee's family about mapping out his future and saying, I wanted him to be around. And I don't know. I mean, the only thing we would say is Pep has come out recently and said, he's admitted a few things. It's funny to see that Pep is still learning. He's come out and said, firstly, that he was wrong about the rebuild and that the rebuild should have been done sooner. He also has come out and said that he's realised that we do need a bigger squad now with the number of games that we're playing. I don't know. McAtee's a hard one because I think we all want him to stay, but we also all want him to do well. So it's kind of, I think someone summed up when they said in the chat, if you got offered 40 million for him, you'd have to snap their hands off. You would.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think that, sorry, I've just noticed like Fuskan's made a good point as well. Like McAtee's not a teenager. Like he's not Nico O'Reilly, who's 17, 18. Yeah. McAtee's, he's at the age where he needs to be playing week in, week out on a consistent basis. Of course, there's room to grow, but it's not like he's 6 years younger than he is, and there's like an infinite ceiling there. The level he is at now will be similar-ish to the level that we'll see in like the next couple of years. Like there's not going to be, I mean, there might be, of course, but realistically, there isn't going to be this massive escalation in his ceiling and quality.
Sorry, this one I was going to say.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? I like him a lot, but such is the quality of City.
I think the other thing is, because I saw someone say we should let him go to a team that don't always play against the low block and see how he thrives. We have. I hate to say it, but he's spent 2 seasons at a team like that, right?
Yeah, Sheffield United.
Sheffield United.
No one's played the low block against Sheffield United. And to be fair, when I did watch him, it was difficult to watch because he looked good, but he was surrounded by players that weren't on the same wavelength as him. We see him for England when he plays for England under 21s. He looks brilliant, but I don't know. We'll see. Do we just, Steve? Actually, just quickly, how many likes are we on? We are on. Let's have a quick look. 490 likes. We're 10 likes away from 500.
That's unreal, that.
Unbelievable. Nearly 800 in here, which is crazy numbers. Thank you to everyone.
I just want to mention the growth of the channel, and it was an idea that a few of us have spoke about. We just wanted to give everyone a platform where they could come on. We can argue about City and all that, but in a nice way. I've said it on the other stream. We want a good community where we control the community. If we get people coming in from outside, they want to start abusing anyone on the panel, it's an instant block. I don't want DMs saying, you blocked me on the South Stand channel, I was only joking and stuff like that. It's not a joke. We're doing this so we can give even people in the chat, if you might not have the confidence to have your own YouTube channel, but one day you might say, you know what, I want to sit down with the lads and talk about City. Yeah. Message the channel, message Daps. We'll get you involved. We're trying to build something here where every day, if you need a Manchester City fix, you know that this channel will have something. So it might not be something you agree with, but you can sit there and you can listen to it and you can get involved. And that's what we're trying to do. And it's just about, we see other fan bases all arguing online and rowing and all that. There's a reason why I'm not on Twitter. There's a reason why Tone has decided to leave Twitter. For certain fans, it's not, we're match going fans and we love Man City Football Club. We're not here to get abused every single day off dickheads. It's not what we do. So this is a platform. We want to improve. We want to take the feedback from the fans. If you want a show or you suggest I want to listen to Nobbins on his own talk about this, I want to listen to Steve and Nobbins or Daps and Tone, let us know, because it's a wide open board. But I just want to say that the support, the numbers the channel's getting at the minute is unbelievable. And this is one thing about Man City Football Club. They get behind our own and we look after each other. And I've got to take my hat off to everybody involved. It's been good.
Absolutely. And the other thing is as well, by the way, that sometimes when people start being disrespectful, you don't realise, but it also puts people off in the comments, that people in the live chat are like, oh, I don't like this. It's a bit toxic. So no, it's beautiful. We love all the support. Just want to quickly touch on Arsenal at the weekend.
Yeah.
I know we've got a hurdle in the way, a big hurdle tomorrow night. If we get over that hurdle, what's our expectations at the weekend? Nobbins, I'll come to you first.
I expect us to lose, to be honest.
Okay.
Arsenal have, despite the outcries of injury crisis, as I understand it, Arsenal have basically a full strength starting 11 outside of Saka. Sadly, the same cannot be said for City. It's at the Emirates. They need to win to stay in the title race. Their midfield is going to bully ours. They've got their best defense available, best keeper available. I struggle to see how we score a goal personally. And I expect Arsenal, we're not very good at defending set pieces. Arsenal are very good at attacking them. I'd be surprised if we scored a goal personally. I think 1 or 2-0 Arsenal, sadly.
See, I'm on the other side of the coin, me. I feel like just go there and give it them. We've got no pressure. We're not on the title race. Go there, frustrate the life out of them, and just fucking, because we know their asses drop out there when things, they've got all the pressure in this game, not us. If we get beat in this game, so what? People expected it. If they get beat, it's over for them. I think I don't know. I just feel like I'm going there with a little less pressure than we have done in the past. And I just feel like with Mamouche and people like that, giving the squad a little bit of a kick up, I can see us doing something. Typical City would go there in the season when we're not expected to and win. When the season we're expected to go there and blow them away, we end up losing. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm looking forward to the game. I've got this feeling where we're probably going to get beat 5-0 now. I've said that, but you get that feeling in your chest that I'm a bit like, yeah, let's go there.
Do you know the most bizarre thing I was watching LB earlier on Football Terrace, and I've been watching quite a few different shows. Do you know the mad thing I'm seeing from Arsenal fans, that they're so obsessed with City that this whole referee thing, that they keep talking about how, we all know that Michael Oliver is we've got a spammer in there. I'll let them deal with that.
Block, just
I haven't seen one of them for a while. Just block that. Yeah. But yeah, so kind of, they're still blaming City. Arsenal fans are still blaming City on the Michael Oliver thing. And I'm kind of a bit confused, thinking we're not in this title race. We're not benefiting from this. If Michael Oliver was in our pocket, surely we'd be saying to him, can you give a red against Villa? Can you give a red for Newcastle? And I'm thinking, how are they getting us involved in this?
He won't give a red to Newcastle. He supports Newcastle.
Does
he? He ain't giving Newcastle no reds, Oliver.
I can see. I think Nobbins, I do agree with you. The one thing that would concern me is the set pieces with Arsenal, because we don't defend set pieces great, and without Diaz even more so, it does worry me. But I think the game's got draw written all over it. You know.
Do you know? I'd take a draw. That'd be a great result.
I think
that'd be a brilliant result.
Yeah.
I'm quietly confident. I really am. I'm quietly confident, because you look. Do you know when we played Arsenal in that 4-1?
Yeah.
Memories. Yeah.
And it was, and we beat them by the ball over the top.
Yeah.
We bypassed the midfield out and we went with the ball over the top.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it will depend what Arteta does. I don't know, but nobody's probably thinking that's going to, because we don't know how this ball over the top would suffice against a back eight. I don't know what we'd do, because I know we're saying we've got all this. Don't blame me. Don't come after me with this. We end up, that's always my sod's law in away games. If I go to an away game, it's a guaranteed loss. So how we won 6-0 at Ipswich, God knows. But for me, I don't know. I just think Mamouche is going to be something Arsenal aren't expecting. And I think right now, there's no better, we know our midfield's crap. We know it's shit and it's old. So bypass the thing. And maybe I'm just reading into the Chelsea game a little bit too much, but I'd take a real dodgy 1-0 right now and get out of town. Because I'm telling you, if you go first at the Emirates, that is going to upset the apple cart in that place. Their asses will go if we score first.
Steve, you're going on AFTV if we win.
I'll be on AFTV.
He's going on before it.
I'll be there. Don't worry about it. But what I'm going to say is, guys, let's not go too early on the Arsenal game. Yeah. We have got some tremendous Arsenal guests lined up on this channel this week. We've got Dan Fox, we've got Turkish, we've got Troops, and possibly Lee Gunner, all in different shows. So you're going to get a different side of the Arsenal fan base because we know it's got multiple directions. So it should be fun this week. But listen, guys, in 55 minutes, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share the stream amongst your friends. And I think we're going to wrap it up. Daps to you. I feel like we've had a good...
We've just gone over 800 watching. I think it's a perfect time to wrap up our first week. But
listen, and big up you guys as well. Nobbins, Tone, Martin, Daps. It's a pleasure to talk Manchester City with you guys. You know what I mean? It's all level-headed talk and no bullshit for clicks and likes. Just a nice, friendly Man City chat. You know what I mean? That's what we want. But listen, Daps, you got anything else to say?
Yeah, I was going to put it in the comments. But people, Steve said it at the start. This show's going to be going on every single Tuesday, same panel. Firstly, send us in what you think. Put them in the comments. When the show ends, not in the live chat now, when the show ends, jump in the comments straight afterwards and put the name of what this show should be called. We need a new show. I know people want to probably call it The Avengers. The Avengers was someone else's. So we come up with a new one. And secondly, anyone that's suggesting, I've seen a few names of people that you want to see us get on the channel as well. Please keep sending me those. Also, if you do speak to the individuals that you want on this channel, speak to them and say to them, look, Daps or Steve are going to reach out to you. They're really keen on getting you on because, like Steve said, I'm speaking with a lot of people and some of them you will have never seen before. It's like Steve said, people that just want to come on and have a chat. But anyone, speak to them and tell them we're going to reach out to them. But no, that's it for me, Steve.
Let me just tell you this, right? Put the name of the show, what you want in the comments. We will pick a winner. Whoever's name gets to be on the show, I will. I'll send them a signed Rodri shirt. So there you go. Get your thinking caps on. Get the name in the comments. Whoever's we decide, I will give you a signed Rodri shirt. So there's a bit of incentive there. But anyway, people,
the Smurfs,
the what?
The Smurfs,
yeah. Listen, people, thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button. Tomorrow, Brugge at home, South Stand, Main Stand, North Stand, Colin Bell, raise the roof. We're going through to the Champions League. Come on, City.